Hi friends! So, second time making a video on this channel in the past month. What's happening? I don't know. So one thing that I've been wanting to do for a while now is I watched this British YouTuber named Shaaba. She's absolutely amazing. If you like lifestyle vlogs, you should definitely go check her out. I will leave a link to her channel down in the description. But a while ago she made a video called The Beliefs Tag, and I've been wanting to do it for a really long time, and I just never got around to doing it for whatever reason, because I took a break from making YouTube videos for a while. But now that I wanted to get back into it, I thought, hey, why not make a video of it? And I'm actually going to be watching her video while I film this vlog, so it's kind of like a reaction slash response. So let's go.
I have experienced a form of rejection, and normally it would absolutely kill me. And for many reasons that have just come together in a really unique and bizarre way, I don't feel too bad about it this time. Experience anyway.
This
There's
is important.
Reason for that not happening. Later on, it could be in a week, it could be in a minute, it could be in a year, it could be multiple years, you just don't know. Something comes along that's better than that first thing, and it wouldn't have been able to happen if you'd taken that first thing. So
it's a very valid point, and it's something that I 100% agree with her with. Even when things go wrong, there's another door waiting and another opportunity knocking, and it's time for you to open that door and walk through to that other opportunity that's probably better than the first one and more suited to you.
a real trendy starting a tag and involved with other people. Yay, social. So what I've done is I've created a list of things that
I'm trying to be social too, that's why I'm responding. This is a good point that I want to bring up because Shaaba brought it up as well. Anything that I put in this video and believe in is not to diminish anybody else's opinion or view on something. I recognize that we all have different perspectives on life. We're all trying to make sense of the things around us, and sometimes the way that we experience and perceive things is different than the way that somebody else does, and neither one is wrong or right. It's just a matter of perspective and opinion. So the first one is fate and destiny. What do you believe in? It's kind of interesting because I've gone back and forth on this one about whether I believe in a fate or destiny. I definitely think that the choices that we make have a huge impact on what happens in our lives. I do believe that everyone has a purpose in life and that they can find that purpose if they look within themselves and listen to what their heart tells them to do. But it is our choices that decide whether or not we actually fulfill that purpose. But I don't think there's a destiny, because we have choice, and whether we actually take that route to that destiny is completely up to us. As far as like fate goes, I think maybe some things are meant to happen a certain way because, like Shaaba pointed out, things have a weird way of working out. But yeah, I don't think we necessarily have a destiny, but I guess some things do have a weird way of working out, and they're probably kind of like fated to happen as long as we listen to ourselves. And yeah, does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay, so do I believe in energies, auras, and chakras? So interesting, because I 100% do believe in energies, and I do believe that people give off certain energies, and I think it has a lot to do with how approachable a person is and how they feel. I think feelings have a very strong impact on how we relate to other people and how we come off to other people, whether it be like body language, that maybe it is just body language and at the end of the day that you kind of feed off and that you subconsciously kind of interpret to be energy, but I definitely believe that there are certain people that you're around, like Shaaba kind of touches on, that you immediately feel like there's something so positive about that person, and you kind of want to be around that person because they're so positive and they have such a good energy about them. And then there are some people that are the complete opposite, like they have a very negative energy about them, and there's something within yourself that recognizes that, and you don't want to be around that person. Also, your intuition, there's the word, your intuition kind of tells you not to be around that person for whatever reason. In terms of auras, I think it's kind of like the same thing. That's how I interpret it anyway. Some people interpret it in terms of like colors and things, but I don't interpret it that way. And I kind of tested this theory out at work once for like a month or so. I tried to maintain a very positive and energetic energy at work. I had a lot of customers say, wow, you have a really good energy about you, or they would say you seem very happy, or they would say your smile is infectious, or something like that. So it's really about, I think, the energy that you put out into the world and how approachable you seem and how positive you are, and kind of what intention you approach the world with. And within this month, I got a lot of people giving off good energy back, you know. It's the energy that you put out into the world comes back to you. But it was mostly people just reacting to my energy and my mentality and the way that I was approaching the world. So there are a lot of things and ways to view this, but that is what I believe. I believe in energy, and what you give to the world and to other people is what you get back. Yes, also, what Shaaba just said in her video is that you don't maintain the same energy all the time unless you're in that mentality all the time, which is really hard to do, by the way. I tried to remain in that positive energy for a really long time, and it just doesn't work. We're human. We don't always have control over being positive or not.
Number 3, the law of attraction. I 100% subscribe to this.
Okay, so the next one is the law of attraction, and I definitely have gone back and forth on this one, but I definitely think I believe in the law of attraction, mainly because the more you focus on something, the more real it becomes to you. So I think if you focus a lot on having abundance of something, like during that month where I was kind of testing out energies and remaining in a positive energy for the full month, I focused on attracting positive energies back and focused a lot on the positive, and the more that I focused on it, the more positive things revealed themselves to me, and the more loving connections I began to develop. The more you focus on a lack mentality, like the more that you focus on not having something, the more you can convince yourself that you're never gonna have that. So I feel like it's kind of self-defeating in a way, because you don't even end up trying for whatever it is that you want, because you think that you're never gonna have it. When it comes to like things like the lottery or something, at least you're trying, and if you don't try, you're never gonna win it, but the chances of that actually happening are super low. But everybody has themselves convinced that they're not gonna win, so at the same time, if somebody went into it thinking that they're going to win, maybe they would. I don't know, maybe, who knows. But things like going after a dream, like I'm never going to publish a book. I've told myself this before, but I turned around a couple of years ago and I was like, no, I'm going to publish a book. I'm going to. Did I intend for it to be a book of poetry? No, but I didn't specify what kind of book I was going to publish, and I ended up self-publishing a book of poetry because I told myself I was going to do it, and I did. The more that you think about something and the more positively you think about it, the more you kind of slide into a mindset of having that already, and you begin to motivate yourself to do anything that you can to have that. Another thing about that too is like when it comes to romance and stuff, and I've seen people use the law of attraction to attract certain types of partners, and I think it's really great, because if you make like a list of things that you want in a partner, you become very specific about what type of person that you want to be in a relationship with. Like you want to be respected, you want to have good communication, things like that, like not like superficial things, like things that are going to matter in the relationship to you. And the more that you make that list, less likely you're going to be to settle for anything less than that. So things like that is just basically what I believe law of attraction is. It's not necessarily attracting that thing to you magically. It's just not allowing yourself to settle for anything less than what you want. So the next thing is horoscopes and numerology. I don't think I believe in it so much because it just doesn't make sense to me. In terms of like horoscopes, I think they're a lot of fun to actually read and to think about. A lot of it is just not true, to be honest. And a lot of it is so generalized that it could apply to anyone or it could not apply to you. I've had a lot of horoscopes that are just completely off the grid and just did not apply to me whatsoever. But I've had a lot that do, and it's because they're so generalized that they could literally relate to anybody. You could show someone that has a completely different astrological sign to you and it would apply to them. So no, I don't believe in horoscopes. In terms of numerology, I don't really understand it enough, but I think some of it is, again, generalized. Some people believe in things like when you see certain sequences of numbers, that it means a certain thing, but I see a whole lot of different sequences for numbers and I don't believe it means anything whatsoever. I do have to agree with Shaaba though, because I have numbers that follow me around all the time as well. Like the number 9 and the number 3, or any like variation of that number. Like, so sometimes I'll see a bunch of 6s or a bunch of 9s or a bunch of 3s. Like I see 3s and 6s and 9s all the time. Like right now I just looked up and it's at 3:33. It probably isn't in this video, but like on my camera it's at 33. Which is actually, I did a quiz about, I think it's a life path number or something, and my life path number is 33. Super weird, but I don't know what that means and if it's even accurate or... But it was accurate. It did apply to me. And apparently it's a really rare number, because it means that you're a master, a spiritual master or a teacher who's going to help enlighten other people. But I have yet to do that, so I don't know how accurate it is. Guess we'll see where my life goes. Okay, do I believe in soulmates and true love? Depends on what you mean by like true love. I think true love definitely exists, but I don't think it's like one true love. Love in any form is true, unless somebody's lying about it, but then it's not actually love, it's just a lie. It's not love. Any form of love is true, but people lie about that love that they say is true, but it's not true. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. But in terms of like that one true love, I don't think so. Because there are so many people in this world, and there are so many people that you could vibe with in this world, and there's so many people that you could meet, that you could love, that you could fall in love with, and the relationship could work, and you could be truly happy with that person. But at the end of the day, it's about making a relationship work. So I think there are different people that you could make it work with. So true love, soulmates, maybe not. ask me again in about 2 months and I might change my mind. That's one that I've wrestled with a lot, if you couldn't tell. This actually kind of relates to what I answered when I said them about the law of attraction, because there are a lot of things out there saying, oh, if you do this, this, and that, you'll find your soulmate. Babes, nah. It's about being specific about what you want in a relationship, and you can find that with a lot of different people. There's bound to be more than one person that you're compatible with and that you can make a lasting relationship with, and you could end up spending the rest of your life with. You know, it's about timing for one. It's about spending a lot of time together, and it's about, like Shaaba said, creating lasting memories together and sharing the same values. Being really specific about what you want out of a relationship and having that match up with somebody else's. Okay, so she's talking about psychics and like tarot cards and palm reading and things like that, and I definitely don't know. I definitely think there are people out there that are sensitive to, I don't want to say sensitive to how people are going to live or what a person is destined to do. See, I just talked about destiny in number 1. So I don't necessarily believe that psychics know, because there's no way for anyone to know exactly what another person is going to do. I do think that there are people out there that are sensitive to reading people and getting a good sense of a person, because I, to a certain extent, can do that in a certain way. Not necessarily psychic, but I do think it's definitely my intuition, and some people have stronger intuitions than others, and some people are better at reading people than others. I have feelings about what's going to happen before it does, but it's more of an intuition type of thing than I know exactly what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, the vision came to me or something. I don't think that, but it's also interesting because I do own a couple sets of oracle cards, and for a while there I did readings pretty regularly, and they were really accurate, except now that I'm thinking about some of the readings that I did like last year, none of them actually came true. Because but it did. Sorry, I just realized that one of them did come true. So weird, but it was bound to happen. It was something that was definitely going to happen eventually. So that's interesting. So that's something that's interesting to do too, is to do oracle card readings and then write down the results and then put it away. See if it actually comes true later on. And it did. It did come true, and there's like 52 to like 60 cards in these decks, and out of all the cards that I got, the ones that I got were true. So weird. I do think that you have to be careful about who you interact with, about like card readings and psychic readings and things like that, because a lot of them just BS it. No offense to people that actually do it, but like, there are people that you have to be careful of, and I think everyone can agree that. So
much of me is like, no, it's not true. It's obviously just a breeze hitting a window.
Ghosts and spirits. I definitely believe spirits are true. Whether it's what we actually think they are is another thing, because I think there are definitely things in this world that we don't necessarily understand and that we're never going to understand. Whether they're what we portray them to be in like movies and TV shows and stuff is completely different. I definitely think that ghosts are kind of real to a certain extent, and hauntings are real, but I think it kind of goes back to the energies thing, because I feel like if something really traumatic happened, like in a house or something, there are gonna be like residual feelings within that house that somebody who moves in there later on is going to be able to detect and feel and pick up on, because it's just so strong. It was such a strong feeling that they're going to feel it, you know? It's not necessarily like a person walking around and like blowing things over and throwing things and trying to kill them or something. Like, I don't think I believe in that. But I definitely believe that there are residual feelings within a place that you definitely, your intuition somehow picks up on. Like the same way that your intuition would pick up on whether someone was a good person to be around, or whether they meant you harm, or for some reason their intentions weren't pure. I think our intuitions can pick up on the same thing within a home. If it's not a safe place to be for whatever reason, because somebody has felt sorrow and pain and anger, or you know, anything within that home. Yeah, that's what I believe in. I don't know if I believe in ghosts that go bump in the night, but I could be wrong. Who knows? I did go through a phase where I was obsessed and I thought ghosts were real, and I was very, very afraid a lot of the time. But I also think that was just my imagination. But don't get me wrong, because I am so obsessed with ghost adventures and anything to do with things like ghost hunting. I'll be the first person to watch it. Religion. Okay. This is a really big topic. Okay, let me settle in for this one. I grew up very secular. I wasn't raised to believe in one thing or the other. My parents always kind of believed in what they believed in, and then I just kind of tried to figure out what I believed in as I grew up, and I was free to do so and to interpret things the way that I wanted to. I kind of dabbled with believing in more of a Christian belief when I was younger, but then I kind of went through some stuff. If you have seen my alopecia videos, you know that I have alopecia, and I kind of went through a phase where I was constantly asking, you know, why me? If God's real, why did he make me like this? Why am I going through all this heartache and hating myself if he was real? So I kind of stopped believing for a very long time, and then I kind of went back into believing when I got into my sophomore year of university, which is a really long time. So there was like 7 or 9, 10 maybe when I stopped believing, and then I started believing again when I was like 20. So that's a long time. I stopped believing again. See, this is where it gets complicated, because I don't know if I believe that there's a God. I don't know. And there's no way for us to really know for sure what it is that is real and what isn't, because we are here on Earth and we have no way of accessing that kind of information. The closest I've ever gotten to accessing any kind of information like that is when I was doing meditation a couple of years ago, and I kind of came to understand and believe that what we like to call God is something so much bigger than what we actually think it is, and it's something that connects all of us. We're all connected, not only to each other but to the world and to the universe, and there is a force so strong that is connecting all of us at the very core. And I think we all have access to that connection if we allow ourselves to tap into that connection. And there are a lot of people, I think, that deny that connection and silence that connection, and that's why you have people that are so hateful. I think that connection, we have the most access to it when we are living and acting in love. I think love is an extension of whatever it is that is connecting us and driving us. I like to use the word God in my vocabulary sometimes, but I don't believe it's what we think or what we have been brought up to believe it is. I think it's something so much more. I think a lot of religions touch upon it, but none of them, in my opinion, have it completely right, and none of them have it completely wrong, you know? A lot of religions have a lot of things in common, and there's a reason for that. Do I believe that we're being judged for everything that we do in our lives? No. I don't think, even if there is a God, they don't have time. But I think people use that specifically a lot just to manipulate people into acting a certain way. And it's unfortunate because I know there are a lot of people that don't do that as well. So that was the last question in this tag. I had a lot of fun making this video. It was kind of interesting to sit back and think about what I believe and why I believe it. I kind of had a few revelations along the way. If you guys are interested in doing the beliefs tag as well, you can go right ahead, and I'll leave the same list that Shaaba left at the bottom of her video in the description of my video, and you can go right ahead and do a video response. If you don't feel like making a video, you can always sound off in the comments and we'll have a healthy, respectful discussion about what we believe and what we don't believe. If you've never seen any of my videos before, you can go right ahead and visit my channel and see if my videos are for you. And if you like them, go right ahead and hit that subscribe button. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Peace, love, and happiness to all of you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you to Shaaba for making your beliefs tag. It has been quite fun. So, bye!